Behind the Red Line, Episode 21, The Disappearance of Paige Birgfeld. The Double Life That Led to Murder. Colorado nights have a certain silence to them, a silence so deep that if someone disappears into it, it's like the mountains swallow their name. And on June 28th, 2007, a woman named Paige Birgfeld vanished into that silence. If you saw her in the daylight, you'd never expect it. She was the perfect picture of a busy mom. Car seats in the back, a planner full of schedules, dance classes, grocery lists, play dates, phone calls, errands, chores. A woman always in motion. But Paige lived another life too. One kept behind locked doors, hidden profiles, prepaid phones, and discreet appointments. A life that eventually put her face on every news station in Colorado. A life that led her straight into the path of a killer. This is the story of the woman with two worlds. And the night both worlds consumed her. This is Behind the Red Line. Episode 21, The Double Life of Paige Birgfeld. Paige wasn't just a mom. She was that mom. The one who decorated for every holiday, baked cupcakes for school, kept her kids' clothes perfectly folded, attended every recital, knew every teacher by name. But behind closed doors, Paige was exhausted. Her marriage had fallen apart. Her ex-husband had cheated. Bills stacked up. Her businesses were struggling. She was alone in a house too big, with 3 kids who needed everything from her. Yet anyone who saw her said the same thing. She never complained. She never broke. She always smiled. But the truth was different. Paige was drowning, and she knew no one was coming to rescue her. Paige found a way to stay afloat. One she kept hidden from friends, family, and neighbors. Under the alias Carrie, she ran a discreet escort business. Not glamorous, not luxurious, not something she was proud of. It was a lifeline, a way to pay the mortgage, utilities, groceries, childcare, debt. The men she met weren't strangers on the street. They were businessmen, husbands, professionals, men who lived double lives of their own. Some were polite, some were lonely, some were entitled, and some were dangerous. Paige had a rule. She always met clients she already knew. She rarely took new ones, but every rule breaks eventually. And one man, a former client she had cut ties with, couldn't handle the rejection. That day, Paige moved through life like normal. She took her kids swimming, stopped at the grocery store, taught a dance class, returned calls, ate dinner with her children, dropped them off at their father's house, a common routine. She drove away in her red Ford Focus, waving goodbye. It was the last time her children ever saw her alive. That night, Paige made 7 phone calls. Most were normal. One was not. At 9:30 p.m., she called Lester Ralph Jones, a man she knew from her escort business, a man with a violent reputation, a man she'd been afraid of. Investigators later said that call was the beginning of the end. Around 10:15 p.m., Paige stopped answering her phone, stopped texting, stopped moving. Her house remained dark, her bed untouched, her purse missing. And by morning, people noticed. Paige was the kind of mom who always checked on her kids. She always answered calls. She always showed up. But on June 29th, she didn't show up for work, dance class, childcare pickup, appointments. No one saw or heard from her. Her phone stopped pinging towers. She was gone. Not a trace. Not a clue. Just silence. 3 days later, a man walking through an abandoned lot behind a strip mall noticed something strange. A red Ford Focus, partially burned, with the windows blackened from smoke. Inside, phone, notebooks, flip-flops, children's items, melted plastic, burned upholstery. It looked staged, like someone tried to destroy evidence, but didn't finish the job. Investigators immediately treated it as a crime scene. One detective said, "It was like someone lit a fire, got spooked, and ran." Paige's keys were gone. Her purse was gone. Her body was gone. But the car was the first breadcrumb. As soon as Paige's escort life come out, the list of suspects tripled. Police interviewed ex-husband Rob Dixon, ex-lover, neighbors, clients, business associates, dance students, men from her phone records, anyone connected to Carrie. Every man had a story. Every man had something to hide. But one stood out immediately. A man whose past included stalking, violence, attacking women, explosive temper, harassment, threatening escorts. Lester Ralph Jones. He worked at an RV dealership. He was married, and he was obsessed with Paige. His phone pinged in all the wrong places at all the right times. He lied about where he was. He lied badly. He couldn't account for several hours. Police kept circling back to him. He was the shadow following her. Paige had seen Jones multiple times as Carrie, but she ended it. He didn't accept that. He left messages. stalked her, watched her, drove by locations she frequented, tried to schedule appointments she refused. Paige told a friend, "He scares me. I'm done with him." In the world of escort work, cutting off a client can be dangerous. Jones was the kind of man who believed if he couldn't have her, no one should. Investigators believe this is what happened. Paige drove to meet Jones for what she thought would be a short, routine appointment. He confronted her, anger rising, jealousy boiling, rage uncontained. A violent struggle took place inside his vehicle or workplace. He strangled her, or hit her, or suffocated her. Her death was quick, but not clean. Jones panicked. He placed her body into his vehicle, drove into the mountains west of Grand Junction, dumped her down a steep ravine, then drove her car to an abandoned lot and tried to burn it. He returned home, took a shower, went to work the next day like nothing happened. For 5 years, Paige lay hidden, her bones bleaching in the sun, animals scattering remains across the brush, winter snow burying her, summer heat exposing her again. Search teams couldn't find her. The area was too vast, the terrain too rugged. Every year, her friends held vigils. Her children grew older, carrying a grief too big for their age. Jones watched the news, smiled, lived freely. He thought her body would never be found. But the desert remembers everything. A hiker exploring Wells Gulch, a remote, steep, rocky area, noticed something pale in the dirt. A bone, then another, then a skull, then the remnants of clothing. The location was so isolated, it took hours to reach by foot. Dental records confirmed it was Paige Birgfeld. 5 years after her death, the truth surfaced. Once the body was found, prosecutors acted fast. A murder trial began, built on phone evidence, motive, witness testimony, burned vehicle location, the timeline, behavioral patterns, his obsession with Paige, disappearance inconsistencies. Jones refused to confess. He smirked in interviews. He denied everything. But the jury wasn't convinced. In 2016, after 9 years of freedom, Jones was convicted of Paige's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. He will die behind bars. Narrator Paige Birgfeld wasn't a scandal. She wasn't a headline. She wasn't a secret double life. She was a mother. She was a survivor. She was a woman doing everything she could for her children. A woman who deserved safety, a woman who deserved protection, a woman who deserved to live. Tonight, we honor her truth. All of it, not the judgment, not the whispers, not the stigma, just the truth of who she was: strong, loving, complicated, human. Her killer hid in the silence of Colorado's nights. But her story will not be swallowed by the dark. This is Behind the Red Line, Episode 21. The Disappearance of Paige Birgfeld, the mom who never came home.